Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Everybody, we are looking at an IELTS speaking section today. The IELTS speaking interview is a 12 to 15 minute interview face-to-face with an examiner, done through the computer potentially at the exam center as well, and in some cases from home. So we will go through some sample questions, answers, strategies, and you will have a chance to practice your speaking through YouTube and Zoom. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites. They power these live classes. Welcome Carolina, our chat moderator. Everybody, you will see Carolina in blue in the chat. She's here to help. Hi Mal. Hi Abraham. Hello everybody. Welcome members. Good to see so many students in the class ready to learn. Students, our websites look like this. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. You can click this big red button to join the premium version of our course. Use the code FUTURE10 for an additional 10% discount. We help thousands of students every single day to succeed. We're an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center. Again, just click the big red button right there and you're good to go. Students, for general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. Again, just click that button and you're golden. All right. So we'll get into today's lesson here in just a moment. Premium users, I did send you your link, so if you've signed up on the websites, you will have another class tomorrow for Task 2 Writing, and you will also have another speaking class on Friday. If anybody would like to check out what those premium classes look like, just use this link here, and you're good to go. Santa712. Good to have you watching from Uzbekistan. We've got people from around the world. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. Use the apps, link them to the websites. And if you have questions, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. All right, let's get into it. We've got lots of speaking videos for you on this channel, so you can practice anytime as well. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch regularly. Set your notifications. Let those bells ring. There's that speaking video. The speaking, again, students, 12 to 15 minute interview. You have 3 parts. Okay, so in the very beginning, the examiner will ask you some warm-up questions like this. They will ask often for your identification and your name and maybe your hobbies, and then they will pick a general topic for part 1 to talk about, like languages. And then part 1 is like 5-6 questions. Those 5-6 questions are about you, so make sure you talk about yourself, not about people, right? Like if they ask you how many languages do you speak, talk about how many languages you speak, not people in your country or your family. Okay, and then after part 1 comes part 2. In part 2, they actually show you the questions. In the real exam, students, for part 1, part 3, you do not see the questions. You do for part 2. So for part 2, you have to answer for about 1 to 2 minutes on a topic. Here in today's class, we're going to look at talking about an item that you have sold. So think about that, students. Something maybe that you sold on the internet, or sold to your neighbor, to your friend, to even a family member maybe. So some item, it could be like a bicycle, it could be some jewelry, maybe some food, some fruit, vegetables that you grew in your garden. So think about some items that you might have sold. And then in the IELTS exam, part 3 continues from part 2. So here the topic is, let's talk about buying and selling. Okay. All right. So it continues from that topic. Okay, students, so that's what we're going to practice today, and I will guide you and I will give you clear instructions on what you should say and what you should maybe avoid saying. Again, welcome everybody. Hi, Tegurera. Brakrups. Kriti. Nice to see many students. Okay. Aksmatov. Nice to see you all. All right, so you go to your exam, and the examiner will say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. We are conducting this exam in Victoria. The time right now is 4 o'clock. Let's begin. May I see your identification? So they're always going to ask you this, especially in the face-to-face interview. And you want to answer in a nice, full, clear, professional sentence. Like, yes, of course, here is my ID that I had used to register a little while ago for the exam. Please take a look at my credentials. Okay? So again, everybody, this is speaking, so make sure to speak, copy, repeat, say what I say how I say it, repeat aloud, not just in your head, okay? Again, may I see your identification? Yes, of course. Here is my ID that I had used to register a little while ago for the exam. Please take a look at my credentials. Zazoy says, I would just say yes. Yeah, Zazoy, it's too simple. Okay, you're in an exam. You didn't just meet your friend. You're not just, I don't even know who you would just say yes to for, can I see your identification? Maybe like a police check or something. If you're driving a car, yes, sure, here you go. But even there, in natural English, we would say, yes, here you are, officer. So even there, it's kind of bizarrely short to just say yes, okay? Natural English, in English cultures, when you're in an official situation and somebody is asking for your ID, there's almost no situation where somebody would just go, yes, or sure. It's a bit weird. I guess maybe if my family, like if or one of my friends were visiting and they were like, hey man, can I see your ID? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Then I would say that in just a very casual situation. Okay, but anytime meeting an official, like a customs officer, an examiner, a police officer, a university registrar, and they're asking for ID, it would be a sentence. It would be like, yes, of course, please take a look at my ID, here it is. Like it just wouldn't be a simple yes. So think about that, okay? All right. The examiners are technically not marking you on these first few questions, but in their head they are. So they're like, okay, does this person sound like a native speaker in a native situation? Okay. Yeah, Alexander. You know what? Even in an alcohol shop, like I've been ID'd before, even there we often will make a full sentence. We'll say like, yeah, thanks for asking. It makes me feel young or something. People usually will often say something full sentence, okay? So think about that. Plus, you want to show the examiner that you're there to talk and you're there to speak in full sentences. This is not an English teacher. They're just there to do a job. You paid a lot of money to be there. You need to show that you're speaking in full sentences. Okay, so keep that in mind, everybody. You paid a lot of money for the IELTS exam, like $300, right? It's a lot of money. You need to show that you are there to express your best professional fluent English. Okay. All right, these guys they're not English teachers, right? They don't care. Okay, so then the examiner will ask, what is your full name? And again, if you don't tell them what you want to be called, they will ask you, what should I call you? So answer that question right away so they don't ask you that. Again, it shows them that you're prepared and you're there to speak fluently. So you should say something like, my first name is Alexander and my family name is Franklin. Please just call me Alex. Okay, so you need to give full sentences. So again, repeat after me. What is your full name? Repeat the questions too. My first name is Alexander and my family name is Franklin. Please just call me Alex. Okay. Tsegareta, it's a little bit awkward. I'll fix that for you. We wouldn't say it that way. It's unnatural. Okay, so Tsegareta says, my given full name is Tsegareta. We wouldn't say my given full name. We would say my full name. Given full name is confusing because your given name is the name your parents give you. Your family name is what you inherit from your family. Okay, so my full name is Tsegareta Boldemescal. Please call me Tsegareta. Okay. All right, then they will ask you some kind of a general question like, where do you live? Okay, again, be very, very clear. Like, I live in Victoria with my family. Is a band 5. It's modest English. It's not really fluent, clear English, okay? I live in a 3-bedroom detached house in Victoria, the capital of British Columbia. In Western Canada, with my family and dog. I got a dog, by the way, for those of you who've known me for a while. With my family and dog. That's going to be a band 9. Okay, at least leading to a band 9, getting the examiner to think, oh, here's a person who's fluent. They're looking at small, so they're looking at the the little house that they live in. And then they're looking at the city where that house is located. And then they're looking at where the city is located in the province of the country of Canada, which is like that. Okay, so it goes from house to city to province to country. It makes sense, it's ordered, it's clear communication. For those high band scores, everybody, band 8, band 9, very good. Expert, they're looking for clear communication. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. Even if you sound like a native speaker, but you don't have clear communication, you're only going to get a band 6. Okay. Band 7 is everyday English communication. Band 7 is like everyday common English. Okay. So Zoe's asking, is there a dedicated time for these personal questions? Yeah, I would say, Zoe, it's about the first 1.5 minutes of the interview. So all of this takes probably about 90 seconds in a nice fluent situation. And then the rest of the 12 to 13 minutes is focusing on part 1, 2, 3. Okay. If you answer all your questions short, you're going to get a band 6 or even maybe a 5.5. Okay? You need full sentences, clear, accurate answers without going off topic. Okay? It's my first tip. I'm going to write that actually. I'm going to write down here for you. Okay? So tip is think, answer plus explanation plus example. Okay, full sentences, stay on topic. You want, when we're talking about full sentences too, you want to have what's called complex and compound sentences. Okay, stay on topic and don't over-explain. Okay, so think about that. All right. So here we go, everybody. We'll get into a little bit of part 1 here just to get you warmed up. We'll ask and answer a couple questions, and then we'll just jump right into practice. We'll use Zoom. We'll reach out to students, and we'll give you a taste of what the actual exam is really like. Okay. Now, keep in mind, everyone, in the real test, you don't actually see these questions. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's talk about languages. So they'll introduce that and they'll say, how many languages do you speak? Okay. Now, again, you want to use the question, answer very directly. Don't go off topic. Don't start saying things like, well, people speak a lot of languages in my country and my family speaks some languages, but the languages that I speak, no, nothing like that. Okay? You need to be very, very clear. You need to say something like, I speak 3 languages: English, Hungarian, and conversational Japanese. English is my strongest language, and both English and Hungarian are mother tongue for me. Okay, so very clear answers. Again, couple of sentences, direct. Okay, I speak 3 languages: English, Hungarian, and conversational Japanese. English is my strongest language, and both English and Hungarian are mother tongue for me. Okay, all right. So very nice, clear answers, students. Okay, very nice, clear answers. And don't keep talking until the examiner interrupts you. That is a bad, bad, bad idea. All right. If you're being interrupted frequently by the examiner, it means you're having a bad conversation. Okay. Good conversations have a feeling of back and forth interaction without being interrupted. Okay. All right. So I see there's some answers for the previous question of where do you live. Golzoda has this one. I am looking at your answers here, everyone. So for the previous one, Golzoda says I is a capital in English. I live in the house, which is in 5. Okay, it's too complicated. I live in a house with 5 rooms in Samarkand, and Tashkent is the capital of the city. I live with my family there. You live in Samarkand, right? I don't know where Tashkent is the capital of the city. I don't know where that comes from. It's confusing. In Samarkand, which is one of the bigger cities in Uzbekistan, and I live there with my family. Original answer, Ulzoda, band 4. Changed, band 9 or band 8 at least. Okay, be careful. Okay, I see some answers for the current question. Good to see you in class, Kevin. Long time no see. All right, Kevin says I speak 2 languages. One is Vietnamese, which is my mother tongue, and the other is English, the official language for global communication. What's counterintuitive is that my English seems to be more advanced than Vietnamese, as I can articulate my thoughts better in it. Yeah, very good. Yeah, you've been working a lot in English, Kevin, so that happens. Yeah. In some ways, English is the most robust language in the world today. It has the greatest breadth and depth of language. So if you're really good at it, that can be the strongest language for expression for many people now. Yeah. Very good. It's a nice answer. Alexander says, I speak 2 languages, Russian as my mother tongue and conversational English. Besides, I know some basic phrases in Japanese, just enough to order a beer in a restaurant. Tatsubiru kudasai. Something like that, Alexander? Or Tatsubiru onagai shimasu. Something like that? Maybe? Okay. It's good to know how to order beer. I can order beer in about 6-7 languages for sure. Okay. All right. Golzoda says, I can speak 3 languages. My mother tongue is Uzbek. However, I can use 2 international languages like English and German. Very good. Okay, nice. Let's jump a few questions to this one here, and then we'll get actually talking through Zoom, everybody. So let's look at this question. If you could choose one more language to learn, what would it be? and then brackets Y. You see like this bracketed Y question? The examiner on the question sheet has this. They keep asking why. Students, if you hear the examiner ask you why, like every time you're answering, it means you're not giving enough of an explanation. Okay, so keep this tip in mind. Okay, everybody. If in the exam, the examiner is asking you why frequently, it basically means that that you're not giving enough explanations. And you're losing fluency and coherence marks. Okay. All right. Thanks, Barno. Thanks for all those emojis. Okay. So make sure that if you hear the examiner asking why, you start thinking more about like because, as a result, therefore, and giving more and more explanations. Okay. All right, everybody. So again, here's the question. If you could choose one more language to learn, what would it be? Given the chance to perfect one more language in my communication arsenal, I would like to be fluent in Mandarin. Not only because so many people speak it worldwide, but it would also help me with business in China and to understand some kung fu movies, which I love to indulge in here and there. Yeah. So that would be my answer for that. Okay, again, using the full condition. So given the chance to perfect one more language in my communication arsenal, I would like to be fluent in Mandarin, not only because so many people speak it worldwide, but it would also help me with business in China and to understand some kung fu movies, which I love to indulge in here and there. Okay. So again, nice and fluent. Maybe you don't need all these words, but as long as you have this kind of content, you're going to get a good mark, especially when you're using this kind of emphasis in language, these correlative conjunctions, not only, but also. Okay. If you haven't learned correlative conjunctions and you don't understand subordinate conjunctions and coordinate conjunctions, make sure to review those in your courseware on the website. Join the premium course at aehelp.com. Okay, very, very important that you use those conjunctions effectively. It's in your courseware. Okay. All right. Abraham, let's see your answer here. Abraham says, if I were to learn another language, I would definitely want to learn Mandarin because many companies from China have business in my country. So it is a great opportunity to secure jobs. Business in my country, Philippines. So it is a great opportunity to secure jobs. Yeah, maybe like that. Okay. Thanks, Carolina, for dropping the full course URL into the chat. That's awesome. Yeah, Ibrahim, you have to work on complex and compound sentences for those high scores for sure. Okay, students, let's engage each other verbally through Zoom. So if you don't have Zoom, it's a quick install. It's probably the most popular software for this type of interaction in the world. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. There's the Zoom link for this speaking. Let me just put on my headset here and start up the Zoom session, and then I'll get some volunteers, and we'll go through some of these questions together. Okay. All right. Okay, so I can't use my camera on Zoom, but you can, and certainly pay attention to this React button. Okay, when you click the React button, you can raise your hand. Your hand will go up. I can see that you want to volunteer, and then I can choose you to answer some questions and give you a bit of feedback, okay, on how you're doing. Okay, I see that we have 7 people in here already. Fantastic. Abraham, Alice, Ollie, Abdul Qadir. Nice. Gonna mute everybody for now, and then just see who's got their hand up for some questions. In the meantime, Anna says, given the chance, I would learn Italian because it is Latin-based language and Italian sounds so beautiful for me. For this 2 reasons, I would like to learn it. Okay, good. All right. I think we've got about 11 people now or so in here. Let's pick someone here. Abraham, why don't you unmute yourself?
Oh, hello, Mr. Adrian. How are you? How is the holiday?
My holiday was extremely challenging. I got a really bad sickness, my whole family, so we were all just laying in bed. You can probably still hear it. I'm a little bit nasal, still a little bit not my perfect sound, but anyway, I'm happy to be alive. I need maybe another vacation. Thanks for asking, Abraham. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great, Mr. Adrian. I really enjoyed this week because I am in my hometowns having a trainings with my friends, and I can visit my father a weeks, as it is very rare to do in my whole life working in different city in Batu Raja.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're having a good family visit. That's so important. So that's great. All right, Abraham, let's jump into some questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. So, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. May I see your identification?
Gladly, this is my ID that I used to register the IELTS examinations 2 weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials.
What is your full name?
My full name is Abraham Abimanyu Kristono Putro. My first name is Abraham. My middle name is Abimanyu, and my last names are Kristono Putro. Please call me by my first name for short.
Abraham? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better, and some questions on a general topic. What do you like about your hometown?
I live in Batu Raja, which is a small city, maybe approximately around 150,000 people. So the roads is less crowded and very convenient to do to do physical exercise like jogging and running. I Last week I did a 40-minute jogging and do my hobby paintings in open area, enjoying trees and birds.
Let's talk about languages. How many languages do you speak?
I speak in Indonesian as my national language, and then English. I learn English to improve my skills to enroll universities in overseas. My aim is to get 7s in IELTS exams, and yeah, I learn English. I speak English and Indonesia.
Okay, I'm going to stop there, Abraham, and just give you a bit of feedback. So, nice fluency. I love your fluency. Okay, love it, love it, love it, love it. Very fluent. 7.5 fluency for sure. Um, your pronunciation is very clear. I can understand your words quite clearly. Your coherence is good. Your content is good. It's in like the 7 range for sure as well. Right now, like if I'm listening to you in this introduction and for this first question of part 1, I'm thinking, it's about a band 7. It's good English. And I would like to give you more, but for me to give you more, I need to hear more accurate natural English. There are just like frequent small mistakes. They're not big mistakes. I don't not understand you. Like I understand you clearly, but it's just like, oh, there's a wrong word form. There's a wrong slight grammar form. There's a missing preposition. So it's just these lots of tiny, 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 tiny little mistakes. And Abraham, I know I've said this before, but to improve that, you really, really just have to review your language, identify those tiny little mistakes, and work on fixing them. So, like here, how many languages do you speak? And you said, I speak Indonesian as my national language. As my national language is okay. It's a little bit unnatural. Maybe something like I speak Indonesian as my mother tongue or as my native language. Okay, can you just repeat that? I speak Indonesian as my native language and English as my second language.
Oh, I speak Indonesian as my national language and English my second language.
Native,
I
native, native language.
native, native.
I speak Indonesian as my native language and English as my second language.
I speak Indonesia as my national language and English as my native language.
No, no, no. Indonesian as my native language and English as my second language. Really pay attention. One more time, Abraham. I speak Indonesian as my native language and English as my second language.
I speak Indonesia as my native language and English as my second language.
Yeah, and you really need to pronounce that N at the end of Indonesian, not Indonesia, because Indonesia is the country, right? So it's Indonesian as the adjective, right? And later on, you made that mistake. You said I speak English in Indonesia. No, it's Indonesian. Okay, that N has to be strong. So it's just those slight oddities that are kind of stopping you at that band 7. And not allowing you to move higher. So be really careful with that, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, Mr.
Right.
Adrian. I will
Okay.
notice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abraham, and have fun with your family. I'm so happy to hear that you're having a nice time with your
Thank you. Thank you,
family.
sir.
Thanks.
Thank you for giving chance.
Okay.
Thank you. So, thank you so much.
Thanks, Abraham. All right. Let's let some more students in here. And again, I'll just mute everybody and then we'll take a look at who has their hands up. Make sure to put your hand up if you'd like to speak, okay? Carolina's put the link into the chat there again, which is nice. Okay, thank you for that. We've got lots of people in here now, which is fantastic. Again, students, if you're liking this type of speaking practice, definitely sign up on our websites here, aehelp.com, glshelp.com. We have extra Zoom classes for our premium users each week, and it's a one-time payment. So, it's worth it. Okay, Alice, why don't you unmute yourself? Alice Wong, you have your hand up.
Yes, hello, Mr. Adrian.
How are you, Alice? How are you doing, Alice? You muted yourself again, Alice, so just unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Hello, Mr. Adrian. I'm good.
Okay.
Busy but smoothly, and happy know you get better now. Hope you completely recovery soon.
Thank you. I think from what I'm hearing, this sickness takes like 3-4 weeks for full recovery, so it's kind of slow. But that's okay. I'm feeling a lot better than last week, so yeah. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, Alice, let's continue with a few questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So let's talk more about languages. Why is it important to speak a second language?
If as you can, I can speak a second language. I can know other cultures and can help me communicate with overseas clients.
What are the most common languages in your country?
My mother tongue is Chinese, and in my country, like English, German, and French, also popular in my country.
Where do you hear people speak in another language most often?
Uh, um, might be in some business building, coffee shop, and some travel attraction point. A lot of foreigner traveler come to China.
When have you needed to speak in another language?
When I travel to other countries or some abroad customers send email or phone call for inquiry or products, I should speak the simple English or answer them email by English.
Okay, very nice. I'll give you a little bit of feedback there, Alice. That was really good.
Yes.
First of all, your answers are really good. So it feels like I'm having a real nice conversation with you. The one part, your fluency, you want to be a little bit more focused on your fluency. You're a little bit, you're speaking fluently, but it feels like you're awkwardly stuck in just some places when you're getting your ideas out. So you want to focus on that. There are some small mistakes in your word order, like, for example, you said, while I travel to other countries, or some abroad customers. It wouldn't be abroad customers. We don't use abroad as an adjective in this case. We would say
Overseas customer.
overseas customers is
Overseas.
better, yeah. Or
Yeah.
some customers from abroad or from foreign countries, right? Now, I think one way, Alice, that you can kind of improve your score quickly is just be a bit more specific with your answers and include an example. So instead of saying, while I travel to other countries or some abroad customers, maybe think about saying something like, while I travel abroad to places like Germany, Nigeria, Peru, and when I speak to customers from other places like France or Italy. So if you're a little bit more specific, it will increase your coherence, your vocabulary range, and I think you'll be more accurate. Okay.
Okay.
So like with these answers, I get that you're sometimes dealing with international clients. Where are your international clients usually from?
From Japan, Korea, Australia, also Kenya.
Okay, perfect. That's great. So Australia, Kenya, Japan, Korea. So think about that for a second, and then try to answer this question with a little bit more detail and think of an example. So when have you needed to speak in another language?
Yeah, when I travel to other countries, I need to communicate, uh, like by some authority. Am I again? When I travel to other countries, like Australia, I need to speak English, communicate with by something, or and ask how to go to somewhere and buy
Much
some
better.
tickets.
Much
Yeah,
better, much better, much better, much better. Now, just one more
yeah,
little tip there, Alice. Use the question. So in everyday English, we don't often reflect the question because we just give the answer and it's natural. But in the IELTS, it's good to use the question. So if the question is, when have you needed to, you should start by saying something like, oh, I have needed to speak in English when I'm traveling to other countries like Australia and I'm ordering food or asking for directions, right? So you want to use that question. So just one more time for everybody, okay? When have you needed to speak in another language?
I have need to speak English when I travel to other countries like Australia, order some food or buy some tickets.
Perfect. Now you're at least into the
Yeah.
band 8 category because you're showing me that reflective, complex language with good detail and very nice specific answers. So that's how you want to focus your responses when you're answering these questions, okay?
Okay.
All right, very nice. Thank you so much, Alice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, giving me a chance.
Absolutely. Great job. Thank you. All
Bye.
right, bye for now. That was Alice. Everybody, give Alice a thumbs up because that's really good and that's fast learning. That's fast learning. That's exactly what you want to do in your IELTS exam. Is everybody kind of getting the right idea? Sandra Irobo says, yeah, big thumbs up, clap, clap, clap. Yeah, I agree, right? That's so we're moving from kind of general, just looking at the answer, to more specific and using the question in the answer. It's way better, way better, way better. Okay, Sal, can you unmute yourself here? If you're there, Sal.
Yeah. My hello, Sir Adrian.
How are
Nice
you,
to meet
Sal?
you.
Nice to meet you as well. I think this is your first time volunteering,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so thankful for being here, and I'd like to say good evening to everyone here too.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you,
From
Sal.
Vietnam.
You're from I kind of picked that up in your accent that you might be in Vietnam. What part of Vietnam are you in?
I'm currently pursuing a career in economic and laws in Ho Chi Minh City,
In Ho Chi
Vietnam.
Minh. Okay, in law, nice.
Yeah.
Are you planning to be a lawyer?
Not really. Actually, that was my parents' idea, but I'm planning to be a travel agent. So
Okay. Okay. All right. That's right. Find your own path. Find what makes you happy, not your parents, right? You need to your parents will be happy if you're happy. All right. Okay, and am I pronouncing your name right? Cao? Is it Cao?
Yeah. If I was a Chinese, that would be great. But now I'm a Vietnamese, so I would like you to pronounce my name differently. It would be cow.
Cow. Okay,
Uh,
cow.
The same pronunciation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
the
it.
cow.
Yeah, got
you
it,
know.
got it. Sure. Okay, Cal. I like it. All right, so Cal, we'll go into part 2, and I'm going to guide you. You and I are going to work through this together, okay? So in the IELTS exam, when you finish part 1, after about 5 minutes, the examiner will say, that is the end of part 1. We will now go on to part 2. I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. And then they will show you a booklet, and they will show you these questions. You'll get your note paper, and then the examiner will say, talk about an item that you have sold. You have 1 minute to prepare your answer. Okay? So the first step, Cal, the first step is you read the question. Okay, so can you read this question for everybody? Part 2. This one here.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely do it.
Go
So
for
can I go now?
Yep.
Yeah. Part 2. Talk about an item that you have sold. What is this item? What did you use it for? When and where did you sell it? Why did you decide to sell it, and how do you feel about the sale?
Very nice. Nice reading.
You will have 1 to 2 minutes. Yeah. To talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare what you are going to say.
Perfect. Perfect.
Really?
Okay, so now, as a good student who prepared for their IELTS exam, you very quickly realize that, okay, here you're talking about an object, right? It's some sort of item,
Yes.
some sort of object that you sold. Okay, because it says right in the question, it says an item, right? So when you talk about an item, when you talk about an item, you want to describe it. You want to describe what it looks like. So like, for example, if you sold headphones, right? You want to talk about it. So you want to say they're black headphones with big, comfortable earmuffs, an aluminum headband. So you want to kind of describe quickly, like, you know, what it is. You want to talk about its origin. Right, so maybe you bought it for $100 from your local media electronics shop. Maybe you ordered it from online. So you want to talk about its origin. Okay. Then you want to talk about its function, so how it's used. So maybe it's Bluetooth. You need to pair it with a device. It's got some touch features on the earphone part. So you want to talk about the function, and then you want to talk about the use. Like maybe they're semi-professional, used for high quality audio listening, for musicians. Maybe you play the piano or the guitar and you use the headphones for that as well. So maybe the use, right? So a little bit about the use, and then the experience, right? So they're good headphones, but you decided to upgrade, so you sold them to your friend for $50, and now you invested the $50 into a new pair of headphones. So the experience. So when you're talking about an object, Cal, think about describe, origin, function, use, experience. Does that make sense?
Origin. Yeah, absolutely. I got you.
Yeah.
But by the way, can I ask you a simple question? Like when talking about the currency, should I share it with you guys in Vietnamese currency or the general currency, US dollar?
It depends. I mean, if you bought and sold the item in dong, then you want to say Vietnamese dong, right? But if it's US dollars, then US dollars. You don't have to worry about it. So those pieces don't really matter for the examiner. As long as you're being clear, it's all good. Okay?
Well,
all right.
Yeah, I just understand it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's totally fine. So, you want to be genuine, you want to be specific and clear, right? So, okay, so you read the question, you realized it's an object, you realize you need to include this information. Now you think about a couple objects. So, don't just think of one. That's a mistake that a lot of students make on the IELTS, is they just think of one item, like I sold my bike, and then they talk about it. It's a good idea to think about maybe 2 or 3, and then choose the one that you think is going to be the best. So, Cal, what are some things that you have sold in the past? Some items.
Personally, personally, as a high school student, I used to sell a couple of MacBook, laptop, and TV, but most laptops.
Okay, MacBook and a TV. Okay, laptops, sure. MacBook computer, it's a tricky topic because they're complicated. They're complicated machines. If you've sold a TV before in the past, I would actually recommend for you to talk about selling the TV. It's a little bit simpler, easier to explain, to talk about. So if you had like a flat TV or I don't know, measuring it by centimeters, like 120 centimeter TV or 80 centimeter TV, then I would probably talk about the TV. So let's say, you realize you're like, okay, I sold a lot of MacBooks, but once I sold a TV, TV's a little bit easier, so I'm going to talk about that, let's say. Okay. Now you take notes. So, and this is all happening very quickly because you only have 1 minute, right, Cal?
Yeah.
That's
correct.
Yeah. So it's fast. So you have to be fast. So your notes have to be fast. So, the TV that you sold, Cal, what did that look like? Can you describe it?
The TV that I have sold is had a width of around 50 inches, and it has a black color, with an expensive remote control. I have been using that television for around 8 months, and at that moment I decided to sell it to my friends because he mentioned he would like to have it for his family reunification.
Okay, just a sec. Let's okay, so your thinking is correct, Cal. You're moving a little bit too quickly through the ideas, okay? And that happens. So sometimes candidates, especially when they're trying to feel that 1 to 2 minutes, they either go too quickly through the ideas and then they start to repeat themselves or go off topic, or sometimes they get lost and they go too much into detail. So you have to really control your sentences. So it's a 50-inch black frame TV with an expensive remote. What make and model is it? Is it a Sony, a Samsung, something else?
Yeah, it would be a little bit unfamiliar. Panasonic. Panasonic.
I know Panasonic. Panasonics. Okay, so 50-inch black frame Panasonic flat screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. There's still some old TVs out there. Flat screen. Okay. Resolution, 4K, 8K, 1080p, HD.
Resolution 4K, around 4K. I
Okay.
get it.
Yeah. You don't, and and everybody who's listening, for the IELTS examiner, it doesn't really matter. Like if you say it's HD 1080, or if you say 4K, it's fine. But just be affirmative. So it's a 4K TV. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Where did you get it originally? Where did you get this TV? Did you buy it? Did your parents buy it? Did you order it online? Did you get it from a superstore or a big?
Yeah, this one is I personally bought it from a sales market with a 50% discount.
Okay. Do you remember how much roughly?
How much roughly?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's to around $75 US dollar.
Okay. Sure. Great.
Is that possible?
Yeah. And what did you use it for? What did you use this TV for, mostly?
Also around a years ago, I mostly use for during my free time, either watching cartoon with my brother, or pumped on YouTube and watch your YouTube videos. They are very helpful.
Okay. Thanks. All right.
Yeah, IELTS video.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay.
That's normal.
Good. All right. So that's kind of.
Can I say
Yeah, that's kind of the
one
function.
small interesting? Yeah,
Okay.
I would like to mention it. Okay, can I say now?
Sure.
One more interesting fact is, my friends and my parents thought I was going crazy because at the IELTS 15, I was planning to do some sort of like academic IELTS. But yeah, I pretty much value your video, and they are
Okay. All right. Thanks,
always have.
Thanks for that, Guy. I appreciate that. So use some so for education, for learning, and that's great. So does the TV, is it smart TV? Like it has an internet connection, or did you connect your computer?
As far as I remember,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it has both internet connection as well as the government channels.
Okay. Okay. Great. All right. So now you're getting the idea. Now you have an idea of how this should sound. Okay. So everybody, I hope you're following here with Cal and me. Like this is how your brain should be thinking. And I know you only have 1 minute to prepare and 1 to 2 minutes to speak, but as long as you have the right strategy and your thinking is clear, then you can actually think about a lot of these details in time. So let's try this response. Okay. Now before your 1 minute is up in the real exam, as your last step, you should always have your first sentence. Okay. So so before the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, you need to think about your first sentence. So here the question is, talk about an item that you have sold. So use that in your first sentence, and you should say something like, when did you sell the TV? When was it? A month ago, a year ago?
I sold my televisions around a years ago.
A year ago? Okay. So I had sold my TV to my friend about a year ago. Okay. So I had sold my TV to my friend about a year ago. And then you just kind of go through all of this information. It was a 50-inch black frame TV with a really nice expensive remote. Panasonic was the brand. A flat screen 4K resolution. So you just go through it. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to start you off, Cal. Give me a nice answer and just go through each of these parts. Describe origin, function, use, experience, and pay attention to this last question. Why did you decide to sell it? How do you feel about it? Okay, so here we go, Cal. Talk about an item that you have sold. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Talk about an item that you have sold. I've sold my televisions for a years ago. So that was a type of very high quality TV with 50-inch plate frames, and together with it is an expensive remote controls. And one thing is great about the television is it was a Panasonic brand with flat screen and 4K resolutions. I bought it from a sales market. At that moment, there was a 50% discount. So I thought it would be a good idea to brought the television to my home and share the moment watching TV with my family. It cost around 75 US dollar, and that would account for half of my salary at that time. After that, I used to watch cartoons with my younger brother, as well as study IELTS by watching IEHelp videos from academics speaking help with some of my older brothers. They are very helpful. Also, because this is a smart TV, so we could use interchangeably with the government channel as well as YouTube contents. Finally, the reason why I sold my TV would be because, firstly, my friend asked if it's okay for him to buy a cheaper television, because at that time the TV used to be very expensive in Vietnam. Secondly, because I would like to change that television with a new one. So instead of using the 8-month-old television, I would like to buy a new one for my parents with better resolutions as well as quality. At the end, I felt really satisfied with the sale. As its account just half of the money, but my friend loved it, as well as I got a sense of accomplishment by helping the others to achieve their goals.
Nice. Your 2 minutes is up. And I'll stop you there. Okay, that was really good. Maybe that was slightly more, but that's the right idea. So, Cal, that was really good. I'm going to give you a little clap there. It was awesome. Yeah, that was a great story. And you answered all the questions, and it was very clear on what you were saying. As far as a band score goes, I think you would probably get about a band 6.5 for that. So somewhere between fluent to good. And I think if you're a little bit more fluent with that answer, it would be easily a 7.5. So a little bit smoother, a little bit faster. But that comes with practice. But the content was really good. So that's the kind of content that you want to have. And you answered all the questions in the card, and that does matter. The examiner is looking for all those answers. So very nicely said. Thank you so much, Cal, for volunteering. That was great. I hope you come back again.
Yeah, appreciating. I would like to say that I really appreciate for the time you have been invest on me. That's really matter.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. And I hope you succeed in becoming an awesome travel agent and fulfilling your dreams. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Hope you two keep going, and someday you will be great the greatest IELTS teacher ever been on the earth, ever set foot on the earth.
Thank you, Cal. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Have a great day.
So,
Okay. All right, everybody. So I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm going to end our Zoom session there for now with that part 2. But for those of you who are premium users of aehelp.com, whether with the application on your phone or the websites, glshelp.com, we've got a task 2 writing class tomorrow through Zoom. It's an interactive class, and another Zoom speaking class on Friday. Okay, Carolina, thank you so much for moderating this chat, and students, make sure to review this video, subscribe to the channel, and come back again. If you're not a premium user on the website, join me on Tuesdays and Wednesdays here on YouTube. Okay, if you want to be a premium user, then click the big green button at aehelp.com, or for general IELTS, click it at glshelp.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day, and we'll catch up again soon. I'm Adrian, signing out from Victoria. Bye for now.